Yugi Bros!
Sup my Yugi Bros, it's Connor. Little disclaimer before we start the video. The giveaways from now on are going to be on a video by video basis rather than a weekly basis. That means each video, assuming it has a giveaway question, will have its own giveaway. This video's giveaway items are 1 pack each of Scars and Trials. All you have to do to enter said giveaway is like this video, subscribe to the channel, if you haven't already of course, and lastly, answer my giveaway question that I will randomly place somewhere during this video. All giveaway winners' names will be announced the following week in my new weekly video segment called Yugi Slows. But with that out of the way, now back to your regularly scheduled content. What's up, Yugi Bros? Back with another Duel video. Today we're going to be playing Relinquished with a different skill than the new one. And our opponent will be playing the ever-popular Dark Moth, which is what a lot of people are calling it. The perfectly ultimate great moth thing with Cocoon of Evolution. I'll explain it. So they're playing Cocoon of Ultra Evolution as their skill, which says activate the following skills during your main phase. You contribute an insect monster from either field, equip with an equip card, and if you do, special summon 1 insect monster from your deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. Also flip this card over. The other effect is you can shuffle 1 insect monster from your grave into the deck, then draw 1 card. Also flip this card over. Each skill can only be used once per duel. Solid card. You usually summon Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth with it. And how you do so is mostly through Parasite Paranoid, which is a... Okay, hold on. Which is a quick effect that says you can target when face a monster on the field, so either field, equip this card from your hand to that target. The equipped monster becomes an insect monster. It cannot attack other insect monsters. Also, its effects that activate by targeting insect monsters are negated. I don't really know the relevance of this last clause. Not sure if it has anything to do with speed duels or not. But either way, you equip it to your opponent's monster, it becomes an insect monster, equipped with an equip card, then you can send it with this card to the graveyard to summon your Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth from your deck. In addition, this thing also has the other effect of if this equip card is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a level 7 or higher insect monster from your hand, ignoring its summoning conditions. That's pretty good, especially when you brick with the Perfectly Ultimate Great Brick. So you play 2 bricks. We're playing Ritual Ceremony as opposed to Thousand Eyes Spell, because even though I like Thousand Eyes Spell a lot from this new set, you do have to discard a card and skip your battle phase the turn you use it to either Fusion Summon your Thousand Eyes Restrict or Ritual Summon your Relinquished. This card instead says, activate this skill during your main phase. Once per duel, you can reveal a Ritual monster in your hand, aka Relinquished, then add a Ritual spell from your deck to your hand that can Ritual Summon that monster. So essentially it's just a Sonic Bird that doesn't cost us our normal summon, and kind of gets the combo going a little bit quicker. So, we open Sphere Karibo, Sonic Bird, and Zoma the Spirit. They open Zoma the Spirit, Newdoria, Dust Tornado, and Parasite Paranoid. Reason this deck is called Dark Moth is because it utilizes a lot of dark monsters. There's a bit of a dark engine here. You can also play Allure of Darkness. Some builds play Dekoichi. We're not playing Dekoichi. Some builds play Gap the Divine Soldier. I think we're playing one of that. Newdoria allows you kind of tempo to the game, because when it's destroyed by battle, you can destroy one monster on the field. You target a monster on the field and destroy it. Zoma nets you extra burn, and also another 1800 beat stick to kind of get you where you need to go until you draw into this combo, because by itself this is pretty slow. But yeah, Zoma by itself is just seeing more and more play. We're even trying it out in Relinquished, because it's an extra monster that can be a tribute, but it's also an 1800 monster, which is really good right now, that has a beautiful upside of if it's destroyed by battle, inflicts damage to your opponent equal to the attack of the monster that destroyed it, which is pretty crazy in 4000 Yu-Gi-Oh! We elected to go second, since Relinquished kind of plays off what your opponent summons. They're going to set Newdoria, and set Dust Tornado, and set Zoma the Spirit, and pass. We're going to draw into Senju. We're going to normal it. Oh, Dueling Book has this beautiful new declaration thing where everything can declare, which is cool, so we don't have to write EFF, EFF, EFF every now and then. So we're going to use Senju's effect to add Relinquished. Then we're going to activate our skill. Even though we have Sonic Bird, or even if we did have the spell card, I would use this anyways, as long as once our opponent realizes we're playing Relinquished or we have the Relinquished in hand. I don't want to kind of blind it turn 1 if I don't need to. But that way this card gets the spell out of our deck, Sure, that's a one-off, and nothing else happens after that, but I feel like this deck is good enough where you don't need the skill to continually get you something. It's not the end of the world. Also, Captain Shroom, shout out to Captain Shroom who's watching us. I have no idea who you are, but I like the name. Set Zoma. We're going to go into battle phase and have Senju attack. It's Nidoria, which will destroy Senju, but that prevents it from destroying something like Relinquished, and it's really strong in this matchup. End phase, they're going to Dust Tornado, and they're also going to Zoma. So they Dust Tornado our Zoma, which is strong, and then they put their Zoma on the field. Zoma has to summon in defense mode, so you flip it on the end phase so you can attack with it the following turn. They draw into Dust Tornado, they can set that, and they can swing directly with Zoma. We're going to Sphere, however, because we need something to tribute for this in the following turn, and we'd rather not take 1800 to the face. So we're going to draw into another Senju. We will normal summon Senju, declare its effect. There's no effect veilers or any hand traps like that yet, and there's barely anything face down that would negate, so we technically probably don't have to declare here, but we might as well utilize Dueling Book's new system. Good to get used to it. Add another Relinquished. Black Illusion Ritual the Sphere Engrave. Summon our Relinquished. Declare his effect, and take the Zoma the Spirit. Also, I did look this up. I know there's a few rules conflicting this. If you take this, he actually does gate the 1800, based off of what I've read and the judges I've asked. If I am wrong, please make a note of it in the comments, but I'm pretty sure I'm correct on this. Zoma does gate in the 18.5. It's a bit weird, but it does seem to work like that. So we're going to go into battle phase and have Senju swing for 14 and Relinquish swing for 18. But they're going to Dust Tornado the Zoma, so we actually don't swing for anything, so we just pass. They draw. They could have taken the 18, putting them at 800, because they're going to Paranoid the Relinquish here, but I guess it really didn't make a difference. It does save them a crap ton of life points, so I understand why you'd burn the Tornado. So Cocoon is going to send Relinquish, that is now an insect equipped with Paranoid, to the graveyard, as the skill says, to summon Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth. I feel like epic music should play every time this hits the board. So they're going to then use the other effect of Cocoon, shuffling an insect from grave back into the deck and drawing one card. And they draw Sphere Karibo, so they get a little extra defense. They're going to have Moth swing over Senju here. We're going to Sphere it. And we're going to pass, since we have another way to hit another Black Illusion Ritual. We draw a double Cyclone, which is kind of good for the future here. We'll have Bird add our Black Illusion Ritual. We'll activate our Black Illusion Ritual, banishing the Sphere Karibo and summoning Relinquish. Then we use Relinquish's effect. We gotta move a monster here because there's only 3 zones, so we can take the Moth, set our double Cyclone, and swing for a massive amount of damage. Sphere Karibo's gonna wall this, however, we have enough on board to do enough for game. And just like that, Relinquish takes game 1. Quick little thing to note, Gap the Divine Soldier, for people that don't know, one tribute says all monsters are changed to face-up attack position, also the battle positions cannot be changed. Flip effects are not activated. That's really good. Once per turn, you can reveal any number of Fiend monsters in your hand. This card gains 300 for each until the end phase. This is basically irrelevant. You don't need to worry about that so much as this effect is where this card is really good. Being able to switch everything to attack mode and then swing, especially if they're on the defensive with this deck, when you have like the Moth on the field, is really good. This card, however, in this matchup is not fantastic. So you'll see, I think in game 2 we side it out. But that is why they play it. So, I'm pretty sure... Yeah, they made us go first. Relinquish's worst enemy, going first. We open enough back row. We open the Wheel, the Zoma, the Offerings, and the Illusionist Faceless Magician. They have Nidoria, Parasite, Paranoid, Double Cyclone, and Offerings to the Doomed. So we're going to set 3. I'm sorry, we're going to set 2. Reason we did that is because we don't want to lock ourselves. Both of these are continuous. If we set this and didn't feel we needed to use it the following turn, we'd like to have a spot open for a Black Illusion Ritual if we need it. They draw into Perfectly Ultimate Great Brick. Then I'm going to summon Nidoria, set their Double Cyclone in their Offerings, and swing. We're going to take the damage. We don't need to worry about it. We could Wheel, but that's irrelevant, I feel. And we could Zoma, but at the risk of them killing the Zoma, us having no real play, we might as well activate this in their end phase to swing over that in the future. And that's what we do. Zoma still occupies the trap zone, which is why I'm playing the token there. We draw into Relinquished. So we activate our skill, reveal Relinquished, and add Black Illusion Ritual to hand. We'll activate the spell, send our Illusionist Faceless Magician to grave, and summon our Relinquished. However, on the summon, they're going to flip Offerings to the Doom, destroying Relinquished. They ask for a response, we don't have a response, so then they're going to chain Double Cyclone, targeting their Offerings and our Zoma. So 2 cards at the price of 1, they get rid of both of our monsters. However, we have Faceless Magician's effect in grave. How this card works is if a face-up Eyes Restrict monster or a Relinquished you control is destroyed by Battle of Card effect, you can special summon this card from your grave if it was there when the monster was destroyed, or from hand even if not, which is really strong, so it can be a hand trap as well. If this card is sent then from the field to the grave, you can target an Eyes Restrict fusion monster or Relinquished in your grave and special summon it. So you can kind of loop. Each of these effects are once per turn. So even though they destroyed a Relinquished, we get this out, and if this dies, we get Relinquished back. So our next play, we'll set our Offerings, we'll go to battle phase, and we'll crash. And then because of that, Faceless's effect will activate since it was sent from the field to the graveyard, and we'll special summon out our Relinquish in defense mode. Kind of a nice loop. I like the card a lot in this deck. It gives the deck a little extra push, which is really nice. They're going to activate their Parasite Paranoid. They can't draw because of Offerings to the Doomed. And they're going to target a Relinquished. We're going to think about it for a second because we have Offerings to the Doomed. We can destroy our Relinquished, making it so their Moth doesn't come out. But in our heads, our thought process was, that's fine. When they bring out the Moth, we'll destroy the Moth. That way, at least the skill is dead. However, we didn't account for Parasite Paranoid's effect, and I'll explain that in a second. So they're going to send this here with the Relinquished. They're going to summon the Moth from the deck. And then, Paranoid's effect. If this card is sent as an equip card to the graveyard, you can special summon a level 7 or higher insect monster from your hand, ignoring its summoning conditions. So it summons the second Moth from their hand. And we kinda... oh, yeah, right. That's it. That's a thing. We still have 2 options here, but we would have at least prevented one of the Moths from coming out if we had stopped it. But it still does burn the skill. However, they use the other effect of the skill here to draw, and they draw Nightmare Wheel, which is even more power on their end. So they have 2 3500 monsters and a Nightmare Wheel. They're going to go into battle phase. They're going to swing. We're going to flip Offerings to the Doom, destroying it. The first one. They're having a second one to swing, and we will Nightmare Wheel that one. So, we're still okay, but we could have been in a better situation if we had just not hesitated there. They're going to use... we don't draw because of Offerings to the Doomed, but our Nightmare Wheel in the standby phase will do 500 to them, and we will pass. They'll draw into Zoma the Spirit, which is probably the best thing they could have drawn. They'll set and pass. We'll draw into Senju. We have still 2 more Relinquishes in deck, and 2 more Black Illusion Rituals as well. So in the standby, they take another 5 because of Wheel. Then we summon Senju, declare its effect, and add our Relinquished. But we will pass because we can't get over this. On the end phase, they'll activate Zoma, which is pretty strong. And they will draw, and they draw into another Paranoid. At this point, they'll flip Zoma to or switch Zoma to attack mode and swing over Senju. We'll take 400. We draw into Black Illusion Ritual, but alas, we have nothing to tribute, nor in Graveyard to tribute, no Sphere Karibos. This unfortunately doesn't work if this is sent through the skill, because it has to be destroyed by Battle of Card effect, so it's not like we could have brought that back a few turns back. So we'll use Wheel's effect to burn. We'll set Illusion Ritual as a bluff. It's not something I like to do, but in worst case scenarios, if we're going to lose the following turn based on the difference of 600 life points after Zoma swings, I would like to at least fake them out to think we have something. So they draw into Dust Tornado, they'll set it, they'll swing in to battle phase with Zoma, and we'll take down to 600. We draw into Double Cyclone, still not an actual option, so at this point, Wheel will do 500, and then we'll have set Double Cyclone and pass. They'll draw into Nidoria, which probably spells the end of the game for us. They're going to go into battle phase, have Zoma swing, we'll Double Cyclone, popping our Black Illusion Ritual to get rid of the Zoma. But Nidoria still has it. And even if they didn't draw this, they actually had the Dust Tornado to get rid of the wheel to have perfectly ultimate swing for game. So it didn't actually make a difference. So game 3. We've elected to go second in all of Relinquished's glory. Our opponent opens pretty strong. It's 2 Paranoids, and Midoriya, and a Dust Tornado. We open Sphere, Senju, Black Illusion Ritual, and Relinquished. Both very strong hands. They're going to set Midoriya, set Dust Tornado, and pass. We're going to draw into double Cyclone. And a normal Senju. We're going to declare its effect and add Relinquish to hand. At this point, since they know we have Relinquish, we'll activate Ritual Ceremony, reveal Relinquish, and add a Black Illusion Ritual to hand. Just like that, we end up with 6 cards in hand. It's pretty good. It's like regular Yu-Gi-Oh! Almost. We're going to activate Black Illusion Ritual, and we're going to chain double Cyclone here, targeting Black Illusion Ritual and their face down, which ends up being their Dust Tornado. It's a pretty strong play. We're going to resolve it, tributing the Sphere Karibo, which I think is a little ballsy, but I don't really want to get rid of the Relinquish since we have another play here, or the Senju, because this is going to absorb this face down. We'd like to do damage as fast as possible. The only downside to getting rid of this, especially in this matchup, is if they summon the Moth and they do a great ton of damage through that. It puts us at a bit of a risky situation, but we'll figure we're going to try to attack as fast as possible. Usually the perfectly ultimate deck, unless they open the Paranoid, is really slow, so let's try to do as much damage as possible. So we have Senju swinging for 14, and we pass. They draw into Sphere Karibo. They have the Paranoid. They put it on the Relinquish. They use the Cocoon, sending it to the graveyard, and summon the Ultimate Moth. They're going to use the other effect, shuffle back the Paranoid, and draw a card, which is Midoriya, and because they have a normal summon, they then get to normal summon. And like I said, this is where the Sphere Karibo would be really clutch. Unfortunately, we don't have it, so we take that damage to the face, and then we take Midoriya's attack to the face. So just like that, we're already at 700 life points. We draw into another Relinquished, which isn't really going to help us here. We're going to activate Black Illusion Ritual, banish the Sphere and Grave, and summon Relinquish in defense mode. Now, the reason we put it in defense mode rather than attack mode, if we take the Moth and swing over this, sure, we do 2100 damage, but they destroy this, leaving us wide open. If we take this, they put another monster on the field, they kill this twice, once for the thing to die and the second time to kill it completely. Again, we're wide open. So we think the smartest play we have is to take the Moth, put it on Relinquish, and keep Relinquish in defense mode, and kind of just wall until we come up with another play. They draw Nightmare Wheel, however, so that's going to speed up this process a bit. They'll switch Dorita to defense, and we will draw. We draw into Senju, but we've already hit all 3 Relinquished, so Senju's actually not going to do anything here. So, we're just going to set it and pass, because we want as much defense as possible. In their draw phase, they draw, and they flip Nightmare Wheel on our Relinquished, so now, on their standby phase, we're forced to take 500 damage, and this game is really close to being over. They're going to set a Parasite Paranoid and pass, and we draw into Black Illusion Ritual, which actually allows us to sacrifice our Relinquished for another Relinquished, so we won't lose to Nightmare Wheel. We'll take Midoriya with this, but again, we're stuck in the same position where we have to just wall until we have enough outs. If anything goes to attack mode and we take 200 damage, we lose. Keep in mind, Relinquish does inflict the same amount of effect damage that we would take as battle damage, and this is simultaneous because it does continuous effect. So if it was enough to make them lose, we'd actually force a draw and essentially force a game 4. But they have 2600 life points, so that's not going to happen anytime soon. They draw into double Cyclone. They flip Paranoid face up. They equip Paranoid to Relinquished, and then we actually get to a point here where Dueling Book freezes, and one of us loses connection. The plan here was they were going to Paranoid this Relinquished, then double Cyclone this and the Midoriya. So these would die, then this Paranoid would kill this Relinquished, and we'd have just Senju in defense mode. Keep in mind, this is only 500 attack, but they have a Sphere Karibo. I'm not sure what we would have drawn because we both lost connection and got kicked out. There's a strong debate that the Insect deck has more options than we do Relinquishes, since we're already out of all 3 of them. However, if we ever hit Illusionist, Faceless Magician, there's that, and also, they would only have their Paranoid left with the Sphere Karibo. We'd have Senju plus whatever we draw. Senju's going to be stronger than anything they summon unless they get a Zoma or another way to hit a Moth, so... Originally, I wasn't going to record this and post it because the duel ended like this. However, I feel like this game, or this match rather, showcased enough of how this deck plays that I'd rather put this on the channel. We did a few more matches afterward, and none of them were, I feel, as good as this. I feel like this match did a better job at showcasing it. I really wish I could have seen what we were going to draw here. But yeah, they ended up losing certain connection before we did, so we technically got the win. But no, that doesn't count. So unfortunately, that's how that match ended. But like I said, I think this is the best way to showcase these. As far as Relinquished goes, we were playing triple Relinquished, triple Senju, triple Sonic Bird, 1 Illusionist, Faceless Magician. I feel like more than one of all you need is one of these. Once you have it, you don't need any more, so there's really no reason to play more than one. It just ends up being a brick after that. Triple Sphere Karibo, triple Black Illusion Ritual, double Cyclone. We sided the third one. 1 Offerings of the Doomed, because most of the time this deck absorbs things, and double Zelma for extra offense, but also defense in the form of its effect. In the side deck, we play the 1 Lava Golem, because we can take it and burn them, and then futurely absorb it. 1 Jin to protect us from traps. The 3rd Cyclone, as I said. A Wild Tornado that can also just pop Zomas, but also work with double Cyclone to pop any face-up card, which is nice. 1 Nightmare Wheel to slow down our opponents, mostly against Perfectly Ultimate, and the 1 Waking the Dragon, if all else fails. Let's summon Thousand Eyes Restrict through this. Why not, right? Alternatively, for the Moth deck, we played 2 Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth, triple Parasite Paranoid, triple Nudoria. This card's just really strong, I think, in this deck. Double Sphere Karibo, 1 Gap the Divine Soldier, double Allure Darkness. I've seen people play 3 in this deck, but then they fill the deck with more options, and I don't... It may not be the worst, I just don't like clogging it with more things to make this card more relevant. I also feel like this is the easiest card to side out in other matchups. Yes, this deck is slow, but I don't want to make it any slower by making it more than 20 cards. 21 to me is okay. I don't like going beyond 21 if I don't have to. 1 Offerings to the Doomed, because this card's broken. 3 Zoma the Spirit, because this card is also broken, slowly becoming my favorite card next to Offerings in Speed Duels. Double Nightmare Wheel to slow our opponent down and also do some burn damage. And double Dust Tornado. The side deck is 1 Dark Ruler Hades. I actually got this idea from one of the tournaments I found on the Speed Duel tournaments. I think it was an online tournament. Similar reason as to why you'd play Gap, but also this just negates monsters' effects that it destroys by battle. So in the mirror match, it's really strong against Nudoria. The second Gap, Golden Ladybug for time. It doesn't really showcase it well on the channel because I never use time as an option. I might in the future just to showcase how good this card actually is, but it doubles because in this deck because it's also an insect, which is kind of cute. The second Offerings Doom, because I still love this card. 1 Double Cyclone. I don't think this is terrible in this deck because you play the Paranoids and also have all these continuous cards. So I don't know. The more I play this card, the more I like it, especially when it's just chainable to any normal spell or trap card. And Wild Tornado. We actually don't play Waking the Dragon in this. It's the first time I don't think I've played Waking the Dragon in a deck for a while. But of course we bluff it out just in case, as always, as you should. So guys, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you like, love, or hate any of these choices? Anything that we played in these decks? Do you have any other suggestions to change up the deck or play it differently? In your experience playing Speed Duels this format, what has been the toughest matchup for you? Has it been this Dark Moth thing, or has it been something else? I wanted to try my take at it just to see what all the fuss was about, and the deck in general is really, really strong. I think it's pretty slow if you don't open the way to hit the Paranoid, but that's why you fill it up with all the other crap, so that it can pull in the long game. But yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know. Like, subscribe as always, hit that notification bell to get all of our latest updates, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Yu-Gi Bros out.